Hello everybody, today we're going to do a blind playthrough of Voyage of the B.S.M. Pandora, which is a game by Simulations Publications Inc., copyright 1981. It was part of an Aries, magazine publication. Today, of course, the game itself is out of print, but you can get the Aries magazine as a PDF. So this is all print and play. I've got all kinds of different printouts that you need to play the game. It's a game of space exploration, and it is a solitaire game, and it's also driven. It's paragraph driven. So what we have to do is we are on board the B.S.M. Pandora, and we are basically exploring space and go to different planets to try and retrieve specimens of alien life forms or anything else that is there of interest, and to bring it back and then collect victory points on the way. So since I did this myself, these, of course, are not the original versions of the counters. So, of course, if you bought this, or if you could still get it, it would probably look a lot better. But this is as much as I could do doing print and play. First of all, what we have here is it's essentially lots and lots of charts that you have to have in order to play the game. And we have several people on board our crew. We've got a commander, we've got a medical officer, a navigator, a maintenance officer, a ground survey officer, a science officer, and a weapons officer. I've never played this before, so now we're going to do a blind playthrough. First of all, each of them has 5 endurance, and now we have to roll intelligence for them. So the player rolls 1 die for each of the 7 characters separately. So the commander goes first, and I roll a 4. And 4 gives him the intelligence rating 8. Medical officer gets a 1, so he's not the brightest. He has an intelligence rating of 6. Navigator gets a 5, which is also an intelligence rating of 8. The maintenance officer gets a 2, which is an intelligence rating of 7. Ground survey officer rolled a 4, so he's an 8. Science officer rolled a 4, he's also an 8. And the weapons officer rolled a 5, which is also an 8. Now we need to decide how long we want to go on our cruise for. Now you can choose 10, 20 or 30 months. It says here that a 10-month tour of duty, which takes about 45 minutes for an experienced player to complete. We're going to go for a 10-month tour of duty, simply because this is my first time playing, and since I'm not an experienced player, this is probably going to take me long enough. So we've done everything we needed to do. And we refer to paragraph 201. So this is like a little bit like Choose Your Own Adventure, to begin play. And 201 reads. So this is not going to be graphically very entertaining, this game. It's you might just as well probably get out your minis and your paints and listen to me talking, because I don't think anything interesting will happen on the screen. Outfitted, checked and rechecked, the Pandora departs from the Watkins Memorial Exploration Depot in the Crichton system. The FTL drive is activated and the mission heads for the first planet in its assigned exploration sector, the area shown in the interstellar display, which would be this display. Choose a planet on the display and conduct interstellar movement checking to see if an interstellar event occurs. So let's go to Cochrane, right up here. And let's look at paragraph 4.0. So I'm just going to take out the So Interstellar display, blah blah. After choosing a planet to travel to, the player moves the Pandora hex by hex from its current position. Okay. Oh, sorry. Okay, so the Pandora is this one here. Oh, and this is actually our entry. So we're not going to go to 11 because that's going to be too far away. So after choosing a planet to travel to, let's choose, I don't know, let's choose Meso. Hex by hex from its current position to its destination. 1, 2, 3. Making note of how many hexes were entered during the move. That would be first Meso, and that's 3 hexes entered. The Pandora may be moved through any number and type of hexes on the display, including hexes containing other planets. After completing the move, the player moves the tour time marker a number of spaces to the left towards 0 on the time and supply track, equal to the number of hexes entered in the move, including the destination hex, but not including the hex of origin. So we just move it back by 3. 1, 2, 3. So we're now at 7. He then rolls 2 dice. And I rolled a 9. If the number rolled is less than or equal to the number of hexes entered during the move, including the destination hex and the hex of origin, an interstellar event occurs. If the number rolled is greater than the number of hexes, the planet table is referred to. Okay, so it is because we only have 4 hexes, including the beginning hex. So, a planet may be one of 4 sizes: tiny, small, large, or giant. Size affects the type of gravity that a planet may be assigned. A planet's distance from its star may fall into one of 4 categories: close, biosphere, far, or remote. Distance affects the type of climate that an environment on a planet may be assigned. The player may use this general information when choosing which planets the Pandora will move to. So, after the Pandora is moved to a planet by interstellar movement, the player rolls 1 die and cross-references, there's an S missing, the die result with the planet the Pandora is now orbiting to determine the paragraph next referred. So we roll 1 die, and we roll a 2. We're in Meso, so on a 2 we refer to 089. And paragraph 089 reads, orbiting Meso, gravity Earth-like, atmosphere none, hydrograph 0%, geology quiet, life support value 4. If the planet will be explored, see 5.0. Roll 1 die. Okay, so first of all, let's just get some information out here. So hydrograph, geology quiet. So we're gonna take this information marker. We are going to explore it, so we're going to read paragraph 5.0, preparing an expedition. Each time the Pandora is moved to a planet, the planet table will direct a player to a paragraph that states the planet's attributes and types of environs that might possibly be explored. After perusing this information, the player must decide whether or not he will explore the planet. If the player chooses not, well, we do. If he does wish to explore the planet, he prepares, and as you can see, this is written in the 80s. Of course, players could be both male and female, but everybody assumes that they're male. He prepares an expedition by carrying out, in order, the instructions of the following cases. Number 1. The player places markers on the planet and environ attribute track. So the gravity is Earth-like. Atmosphere is none. Hydrograph says 0, geology quiet. Life support value is 0. Oh, sorry, life support value is 4. My mistake. Okay. The player chooses the characters, bots, and tools that will explore the planet. He may select any units from among those aboard the Pandora as long as at least one character is included. As the player chooses units, he adds together their weight ratings. Okay, so let's see what we've got. We've got several people, as I explained, and we also have bots. We have a Speci bot, we've got an IMRE bot, a Recon bot, and an AM bot. If the planet is to be explored has no atmosphere, and it has none, any character that the player plans to send outside the shuttle must be equipped with an envio rig. The character counter is flipped over. If the planet has a corrosive atmosphere, which it doesn't, we would have to put on a armor rig. The total weight rating of the units chosen may not exceed the port capacity of the shuttle. The port capacity of the shuttle on Earth-like planets is 80. So, unfortunately, you won't be able to see this, but they all have weights, and the so the med officer weighs 6. He can port 5, which means he can carry 5. But when he wears an envio rig, he actually has a weight of 10. So we cannot put too much into our little shuttle because it won't be able to hold more than 80, and our rover can only carry 30. Okay, so we could of course put stuff onto the shuttle and take it down, and we're going to, let's see what we're going to put in the shuttle, because somebody can also stay of course on board the B.S.M Pandora. So I guess what we're going to do is we are going to bring our ground survey officer, and when he wears his enviro rig, his weight is 11. He's a heavy guy. So let's see, he weighs 11. And we're going to bring our maintenance officer. MNTO and GSO. So we're going to bring these two. And we're going to put them onto the shuttle. So we could also bring our med officer, and we are going to do this. And he weighs another 10. What bots are we bringing? I think as a recon bot would not be too bad. A recon bot weighs 9. And we're also going to bring, I would say, a spacibot, which also weighs 9. So if we add all of this together, our shuttle has to port 30, 40, 49 for the shuttle. But of course, not all of these can go onto the rover because the rover can only take 30. Okay, so let's see. We've done this. And we also have to bring supply points, which cost 1 weight. So we have 50, we could put in 31. So we're just gonna take, let's say we're gonna take 20 supply. So we're at 69 port capacity. I have no idea if this is a good plan or a bad plan. We're just gonna play it by ear and see what happens. The player determines which environ hex the shuttle marker is placed in and which paragraph is next referred to in accordance with the planet paragraph. Okay, let's see. Now we need to roll a die again to see where we land on Miso. We rolled a 6. We land in hex 0806. (0806). So basically, by rolling this die, you get to randomly. So basically, you randomly get your planet assigned. So this is what our planet looks like. And I'm going to zoom in a little. So essentially, now you can see that this is a hex encounter game. This is the actual planet now that we have chosen, and 0806 is down here, so we're going to put our shuttle marker down here. So this is where the shuttle has landed now. Let's see what this tells us. We need to read paragraph 115. The shuttle has set down on a flat barren expanse with bleak hills and mountains rising to the west. The climate is Arctic. Add 1 to the life support value. Deploy the character's bots and tools in the expedition display and explore the landing hex. So, okay. We're going to take the ground survey officer, who weighs 11. The recon bot, and the maintenance officer, and they are going to walk around in this hex. So we're just gonna put the on foot marker here. So basically what this means is, and you have another display over here, which I'm gonna show you briefly, but it's not that important. So essentially, and this is fan made, Here you've got the Pandora herself, where all of these stuff that you have in the Pandora, all of the people, all of the equipment can be placed. Here you've got the shuttle board, so anyone who traveled was put here. And then we have the rover board. If we were to put them into the rover, then we would put the rover onto the planet. Or if you say they're going to go on foot, you'd put them in the on foot box and you put the on foot marker into the hex. So I actually like this and I like what the fans did with it. So now we are here in 0806, it's Arctic. And now we need to see what happens. So the player moves the expedition about the environment, exploring hexes and encountering local phenomena by conducting expedition actions. Whenever a paragraph requires that the player choose an expedition action, he may have the Expedition Explorer hex, conduct hasty movement. So let's just explore. The expedition may explore the hex it occupies or may move into and explore any adjacent hex in a single move. Every type of terrain in the hex costs a certain number of hours to explore. If the hex is also being entered, additional costs for each terrain... Okay, let me see. Okay, now we can do exploration. And for this we need to spend time. We are in a flat hex. And it says that in order to explore it, we have to spend 2 hours. We need to absolutely keep track of this somehow. Expedition timer. So we are going to spend 2 hours on this. And during that time, what happens is, for example, okay, if the same hex were blah, 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 when a hex is explored, an explored marker is placed there and the player uses the exploration matrix to determine the next paragraph. Okay, so we have explored it, so we put down this explored marker, and then we have to, it's getting a little bit crowded. We have to roll 2 dice. Where's my die tray? Here it is. And this will tell us which paragraph we need to read. So first die is a 1. And a second die is a 5. So that's 177. And 177 reads... an alien city hex is being explored. No. Okay. Expedition encounter. An alien city hex is being explored or was entered during hasty movement. No. A mountain hex is being explored or was entered during hasty movement and the gravity is near weightless or light. No. A vegetation hex is being explored or was entered during hasty movement and the climate is tropical. None of the above. What happens if it's none of them? 6.4. Instruction for use and important die roll modifiers that may be applied are listed on the matrix. Is used after exploring a hex. Each expedition encounter paragraph lists 3 or 4 statements that might possibly match the expedition's position. If one of the statements is true, the player refers to the listed paragraph. If none of the statements is true, the player must choose another expedition action. 6.9. Repair a tool, abandon equipment, heal a character, reorganize the expedition, return to the Pandora. None of these. So what we do is we move. So we will move. And we will go to 805, which is a hill. And oh, we're going to reorganize the expedition. So which means we're going to bring out our little rover. And everyone will pile into the rover because we're going to drive. You know, so we explored this on foot. There was nothing there. We're now going to move. So our rover can port 30 and we weigh exactly 30. And now we're going to move into 0805, using the rover, and that's going to take us half an hour. Then we're going to explore it, which is going to take us 2 hours, so that's 2.5 hours. So this actually is rounded up, I guess, so we're now at 5 hours. And we're going to roll. The first is a 4, the second is a 3, which brings us to 146. An alien structure hex is being explored. No, a cave hex, a hill hex with light vegetation is being explored or was entered during hasty movement. Yeah, well, it's a hill hex. It doesn't have light vegetation, but it is a hill hex. So first of all, it gets its explored marker. And then we're going to go to paragraph 1179. Doesn't have 1179, so I guess it's 117. No, so it is actually 179, and that reads: a huge feathered four-legged beast charges the expedition. A foreboding collection of sharp horns protrudes from its front end. If surprised, 8.1. If a paragraph states that the expedition may be surprised, conduct the following check. Roll 1 die. If the expedition is exploring and has the scanner, they are surprised on a result of 6. We rolled a 1. If they are exploring and do not have the scanner, they are surprised on a result 4 to 6. If the expedition is no, we didn't, so we're not surprised. One character determined at random is ripped apart by the deadly horns. What? Oh, no, only if we're surprised. Choose an encounter strategy. If not surprised, choose an encounter strategy. Okay, encounter strategy. Let's have fun. We can communicate, capture, kill, or flee. Creature table rating. Do we have a creature? A goat, Glosper, Reeler, Ivy Fire, thing with horns. Something that has horns protruding from its head. It's not a mirror fly, I can tell you that much. Iron horn, it could be that. Bubbler, probably not. Oh my god. Dokidon, Decapus. This is going to be fun because I have no idea what I'm dealing with. And I'm supposed to use this creature's intelligence if I want to communicate with it, but I don't know what it is because it just says it's got 4 legs and it's huge and it's 4 legs and it's feathered. Let's see if I find something. There's a creature called Florist. I know that one, she's got a shop downtown. Okay, so it's got to have 4 legs. Four legs. So the Ursa Max has more than 4 legs. This one is probably not it either. Radrod, probably not. It doesn't have wings, so this one is got wings, so it's not going to be it. God, this is problematic. So I just choose any. Ivy 5, Adder Cat, Mirrorfly. Okay, I don't know what I'm supposed to do here, so I'm gonna choose something that has horns. I have no idea if this is the right way of doing it, but if this is it, then its intelligence is its intelligence is 1. But its intelligence is red for some reason. I don't know what that means. Okay, so let's say we want to capture it, we want to kill it. I don't have anything I could put it in because I forgot to bring a specimen jar, as it were. So we're going to try and kill it. When directed to use this table, choose one of the listed strategies and roll 1 die. We're going to kill. And we roll a 3. With the chosen strategy will yield modifiers to the die results. If communication is chosen, add the creature's intelligence modifier and subtract the absolute value of its aggression modifier. Okay, if capture or kill is chosen, add the creature's intelligence and aggression modifiers to the die result. So that's a 5. So that would take us to 0.17. Determine the creature's aggression rating. If the aggression rating is 5 or less, determine the creature's speed rating. Yeah, okay. If this rating is higher than the single highest speed rating among the members of the expedition, oh god, their speed is they are all faster. Yes. Conduct combat. Okay, so now we've determined that it can't run away, so we'll have to conduct combat. If not already declared, choose whether the expedition... Okay. Calculate the total combat rating of the expedition using the capture or kill combat rating of each eligible unit in the expedition as appropriate. Each bot contributes its rating. Each character contributes his rating or the rating of any one tool. Determine the combat rating of the creature. Okay, so our combat rating, our combined combat rating is 2, 4, 8. The creature's combat rating is 0. So we subtract the creature combat rating from the expedition's total combat rating, which is 8. Use the combat differential to locate the column. 7 or plus 7 or plus 10. Okay, so then determine the content. Okay, roll 1 die, cross-referencing the die result. We rolled a 4. B, creature is killed, damage 2 damage points, or creature is captured 4 damage points. Okay, so we suffered 2 combat points, 2 damage points, but we've killed the creature. Okay, so we put this away. We can't take it back. When the expedition receives damage points as a result of combat, the player must remove endurance points from units involved in the combat and/or expedition supply points. Okay. Okay, so we're going to take this as endurance for the time being. So the GSO is going to take 1 endurance point as is the maintenance officer. And we're going to move on. Here for 1 hour, and then we're going to explore for 3, so that's 4 hours. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we roll a 5 and a 1, so we have to reference 0, 6, 5. Expedition encounter, an alien city hex, no. A cliff hex, no. Okay, then we could actually heal. The player chooses a character in the expedition that has lost at least 1 endurance point and expends from 1 to 12 expedition hours in an attempt to regain one of the character's lost points. He then rolls 2 dice. We're going to spend 1, 2, 3, 4 hours. We're going to roll 2 dice. And we're going to try and heal the GSO. And we don't. Okay, then we're going to move on. Let's explore a mountain. So, we're going to spend 2 hours getting there. And then we're going to spend 5 hours exploring it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so what happens? We now need to do a supply check. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. So now we're going to do a supply check. Each character is a double supply user. Each bot is a single supply user. Each tool, we don't have any tools. When a supply check is required, the player determines the supply user total by counting each character in the environment twice and each bot and tool not in the shuttle once or twice. So we have 2 people in the environment, that's 4, and 1 bot. And the bot, okay, so we've got 5. Okay, so first we're gonna roll a die. 5. We have 5 divided by 6 is 0. That can't be right. Is divided by the die number. In the environ. The question is the shuttle part of the environ? No, it's not. Okay, so yeah, so we have 1/5. Okay, so the life support value of the planet is added to all the terrain supply modifiers. So we're at 5. So we have, the life support value of the planet is added to all the terrain supply modifiers. Okay. So it's 5. If this sum is positive, it is divided by the die number and the result is rounded down. That's again 5/5, 6. Okay, so we don't spend any. That's weird. That can't be right. Because they round it down, but 5/6 is less than 1. That can't be right. I'm just gonna take 2. Because otherwise this doesn't make sense. Okay. So now let's see, let's explore this. 3 and 4 is 165. Expedition encounter. An alien structure. No. A hill. Is this hill? No. Then there is nothing we can do. We're going to disembark and we're going to move on foot. So this is explored, there is nothing there. And we're going to go into the cave, which is going to take us 2 hours, 1, 2. And we're going to explore it. It's going to take us 3 hours, 1, 2, 3. And that's a 2 and a 3. 140. An alien city, no. A marsh hex, no. A glacial ice hex, no. Okay, so again, there is nothing we can do here, so we are going to move back. So that's 3. Then we're gonna get into 1, 2, 3 into our little into our little vehicle. 4, 4.5. So it's 1, 2, 3, 3.5. This means we have to take a supply check. And we roll a 4 and we have 4 supply users. So we're going to expend 1. And so we're going to expend 2 supplies. And we're going to go back into the shuttle. Because since we don't have anything with us that we could use to pick up specimens, it's really, there's no point. So we're going to go back to the B.S.M. Pandora. Oh, double supply users are indeed characters inside and outside the shuttle, so that makes more sense then. Yeah, that makes more sense. So yeah. Okay, so basically, yeah, that would have been different. So now we're on board and we can do a couple of things. We can actually now start healing people. I remember reading this somewhere. Okay, I think when you return you go automatically to 50. All surviving characters, bots, tools, capture creatures and acquired artifacts are safe aboard the Pandora, and onboard actions may be performed. So, heal characters. A total of 4 endurance points may be regained by characters by expending 1 month of tour time. We're going to do this. So nobody has any wounds left. And we could, in theory, now go on and go to another planet, but that's not going to work. So we're just going to go back. We've got nothing to show for our time spent away because we didn't capture anything. And the reason why we didn't capture anything was also because I was stupid enough not to bring any E-cages, which would have allowed us to capture a creature and bring it back. I have heard from somebody else that, you know, if you just choose 10 months, you might just as well not do this because you don't have enough time to do stuff. And this is true. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop here because I think you've seen how the game plays. I mean, it's pretty much centered around exploring space, which you do up here by moving the Pandora around and then choosing a planet. Basically then seeing which planet you are going to go to and what it's going to be like there. And then you land there and then you do your exploration. Which is a pretty straightforward way of doing things. it is an interesting, I guess, concept. Is it something that I could spend hours doing? I don't know. I mean, I think this would be almost something where I would go, if this was an app, it might be something I would pull out every so often. I think I'll definitely give this a try again, but at the moment I think I'm done with my third game in the 12 Games of Christmas Challenge, Voyages of the B.S.M. Pandora. I may actually come back to this one during the Christmas period, but for today I think this was enough of a look into the game. For those of you who are interested, you can still get the game if you go to the archive.org, whatever it's called, and download the Aries PDF, and you just print it off yourself. Some of this stuff I actually found on, I believe, Board Game Geek. So these ones, these tables and these environs come from Board Game Geek, and you can use those because they look a lot nicer. And until such time as we talk again, I wish you a pleasant rest of the day. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.